Okay, part 2 of the yo-yo. We'll be animating the yo-yo. So, here's our yo-yo movie. And we'll begin. So, let's just a refresher, we're in the yo-yo body movie clip, which is over here in the library. We're in scene 1, and we can add new scenes as we need to, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's go into the yo-yo body right now. And what we want to do is add a tween so that I can rotate the body. So I'm going to do, again, I got to this menu by right-clicking in that first keyframe in the timeline in layer 1. And I could also insert a tween simply by coming up here and clicking on Motion Tween in the Insert area. But I find it a lot of times just really easy to use the right click on the mouse. So we'll create a motion tween. Oh, sorry, actually this whole darn thing needs to be converted to a symbol first of all. So let's do that next. Let's take this whole guy here. It's grouped, but it's not yet a symbol. So we'll call this yo-yo body symbol. All right, so here's my symbol. This is the movie clip. So we're good. And now we are going to motion tween, which we just did. So you can see that I have a motion tween there. And now we're going to come to the end of this motion tween. So this motion tween automatically set up 24 frames for me. I can make that longer if I want to. Let's slide that down to 50 frames. And what I'm going to do is have it halfway do one rotational rotation. So I'm going to send it this way once. All right. So let's take a look at what that looks like so far. Let's just play that. Okay, so as you can see, it stops at this point, right? That's where that keyframe has the end. So now let's come down to this frame and let's rotate it in the opposite direction once. All right, let's come back. And let's look. So it rotates and then it rotates around. All right, so I know that its first rotation is done at 24 frames. So I'm going to go back to scene 1. Now I don't have anything in the timeline, in the main timeline. That's because everything that I created was created in yo-yo body, which is the movie clip. So now I'm going to drag in the yo-yo body movie clip. And when I play that, let's just test the movie. Great. So I get a spinning rotation. But now what I want to do is I want to size it down just a little bit. Okay, so see, I can do that now that it's a movie clip. And now what I want to do is I want to have it come from the top. I want to have it go down and then go back up again. So I'll start the first position there. I will right click and create a motion tween. I'm going to make it 50 frames long. And at 24, I'm going to have it down here. And then at 50, I'm going to have it up here. And what I'm seeing is the path it's going to take. Let's play it and see what we end up with. So as you can see, one of the things that we see here that's so nice is we see not only the main animation happening, which is the thing coming down and bouncing back up, but we also see, we get this idea that it's really rotating because I see that text rotating around. Okay. Now, if we wanted to change any of this, it's really easy to do that. So let's say that I want to have the path a little bit different. Let's say that I want to have the path kind of more straight down. And so the path is really, really easy to change. If I just want to grab one end of the path, I can use the sub-select tool to get to the end. Okay, and I just want that to be super straight. And then I can do the same thing over here. I can have this also be really straight. Now, if we run this, let's see what we end up with. Something that looks a little bit more like we're used to seeing. Now, what would happen if I brought this in and made that going up part a little bit faster? Okay, what if I even brought it in a little bit more? And let's keep this one where it was. So what I want to do is grab that keyframe. So I have to tap out of the timeline, tap back in, and then I can grab it and move it back to where I want it. Now let's look and see what this looks like. Down slow and back up again. That's almost too fast now, bumping back up. Let's move the whole timeline out again. Let's jump out, click back in on the single frame. Let's move it down to 24. Tap out, tap back in, select the single frame. This is tricky because I don't want to lose the whole blue strip. I just want to take that one single keyframe and move it in. Now let's have a look. Bounce down, bounce back up. Okay, so what I might want to do, I might want to see that spin happening at the very end. So the last thing I think I want to do is I want to take this position and place it down here so that I can see the last bit of that spin. Okay. And so on. You can keep on going, obviously, from there. But that just gives you a little bit more feel for what you can do with Adobe Flash and using motion tween animation. Let's just show you one more thing. Let's take a look at what it would look like to actually bounce this thing a little bit more. Everybody's been used to the bouncing ball that we did earlier. So let's just take a look at, again, what the bouncing ball sort of thing would look like here. So one of the things that we can do is we can actually, if we go to the regular select tool and we hover, we can bend these curves any way that we want to, or we can just grab them. So the bending, as you can see, if I just hover over that line, I can bend the curve, which is kind of nice. All right, so let's see what we end up with now. Okay. Now again, we could add more keyframes to apply stretch and squash to these if we want to. We won't go through that right now, but certainly you could do that if you wanted to. Okay, thank you very much.